Extract from The Great Miscalculation, a historical analysis of the Terran integration crisis, by scholar Vexhala of the reformed Galactic Institute. For over 2 centuries, the Galactic Council had maintained its official position on humanity. They were a pacifist species, too civilized for warfare, useful only as mediators and peacekeepers. The evidence seemed overwhelming. When first contact was established in 2156, humans had immediately proposed diplomatic solutions to every conflict. They established the Terran Mediation Corps, sent ambassadors to war-torn systems, and consistently advocated for peaceful resolutions. Even when the aggressive Skarn hegemony launched raids on human colonies, humanity's response was to file formal protests and request council intervention. Humans are constitutionally incapable of large-scale violence, declared Council Military Advisor HFY Stories in his famous address. Their psychology simply cannot process the concept of organized warfare. They're the galaxy's natural peacekeepers. The Council's xenobiologists supported this assessment. Human neural patterns showed high empathy responses. Their literature was filled with stories condemning war. They had even established something called the Geneva Conventions to limit violence in conflicts, surely the mark of a species too soft for real military action. Ambassador Rebecca Torres reinforced this perception at every opportunity. War is humanity's greatest fear, she told the Council during the Outer Rim crisis. We've seen what it can do to civilizations. We prefer dialogue, compromise, understanding. For decades, this seemed accurate. Humans served as negotiators in 17 major conflicts, established peace treaties between ancient enemies, and consistently refused military contracts. When the Council formed the Peacekeeping Corps, humans eagerly volunteered, but only for humanitarian missions. The Vorthan Empire took note. Supreme Warlord Krexthul had been planning his expansion for decades, but the presence of Council forces had always deterred him. However, his intelligence reports painted a clear picture. The Council's military relied heavily on humans for logistics, coordination, and support roles. If humans were truly pacifists, then eliminating them would cripple the Council's ability to respond to threats. Strike the human worlds first. Krexthul ordered his war council. Remove their peacekeepers, and the rest of the galaxy will fall like dominoes. The Vorthan assault began at dawn on New Geneva, humanity's largest colony. Orbital bombardment eliminated the civilian government centers. Drop pods landed elite Vorthan shock troops in major population centers. By all tactical assessments, it should have been a massacre. The first anomaly occurred when the human police responded to Vorthan landing sites. They moved with military precision, used weapons with suspicious efficiency, and employed tactics that seemed far too sophisticated for civilian law enforcement. Vorthan casualties in the first hour exceeded projections by 300%. Then the human emergency response teams arrived. These weren't medics, they were soldiers. Disciplined, well-equipped, and absolutely ruthless. They knew Vorthan weak points, employed combined arms tactics, and fought with a coordination that spoke of extensive military training. How did civilians become warriors so quickly? Krexthul demanded as his reports came in. The answer came when Captain Elena Rodriguez of the humanitarian ship Peace Bringer opened communications. This is the UES Indomitable 7th Fleet. You have 30 seconds to begin evacuation procedures before we demonstrate why humans study history so carefully. The Peace Bringer wasn't a medical ship. It was a dreadnought-class battlecruiser with enough firepower to crack moons. And it wasn't alone. Across human space, research vessels were dropping their camouflage to reveal military configurations that belonged in nightmares. You lied to us, Krexthul transmitted as his easy target turned into a military fortress. Your ambassador said humans feared war. Captain Rodriguez's response was broadcast across the galaxy. We do fear war. We've studied every conflict in human history, learned from every mistake, prepared for every contingency. We fear war because we know exactly how good we are at it. The Vorthan invasion lasted 6 days. Not because it took humans 6 days to win. It took 6 days for the Vorthan Empire to formally surrender to what they discovered was the most militarily advanced civilization in the galaxy. Ambassador Torres addressed the stunned Galactic Council. "We told you humans fear war. We never said we couldn't fight one." The pacifist species had been preparing for galactic war for 2 centuries, and everyone else had been too comfortable with their assumptions to notice. End extract.